Welcome to Talkin' Entertainment from Rip City with Brandon Laws and Dan Zeal. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, or you can follow us on Twitter at TE from Rip City. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to Talkin' Entertainment. We are back. Dan, good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you too.
There's so much going on right now, and I want to start with sports because we had.
Can we just time out real quick? The most important thing that I want our viewers to realize is that we're both wearing like light blue t-shirts.
Oh, I'm going to stand up real quick. I've got blue shorts on too.
I don't.
And earlier I was wearing blue sunglasses. So
I don't have blue shorts on. But it's weird that we're both wearing like baby.
We are brothers.
Yes.
Sending the energy out into the atmosphere.
That's right.
Whatever. Dude, I want to start with sports because
we have them since the last time we talked.
Oh my gosh. Last time we were like, what do? We watch TV shows and movies, which aren't even really being produced anymore. There's going to be a lull for a while, I think. And all of a sudden sports kick back up. So I think we need to talk about that. I want to start with baseball and football. And baseball is back. But is it really back? It's not the same experience.
It was almost not back. I mean, it was pretty hectic right there. Like the funny thing the most frustrating thing about this too is like just how like this entire shit show that's been baseball is like it shows you they're like how bad their commissioner is, and he's got like he came out with this like 100-page document of like things to do and not to do, but like none of it addressed any of the stuff that was the concern, which is like, what are these players going to do when they're not in a bubble? Because they're basically the only.
They're not in a bubble. That's the thing. The NBA. We'll talk about NBA, but the NBA is in a bubble where they can control the environment. Baseball, no.
And like all the other sports, like the MLS, like NHL, these guys are all in bubbles right now, and baseball elected to not go that route. I see why it would have been difficult, but then you are just letting these players out who are mostly fucking young people with a lot of money. A lot of them not from that are originated in this country, so probably don't have a lot of family here, don't have a lot of other options, but also not very smart when it comes to making decisions on their own. So you basically give them this honor system, and which you don't address in this 100-page document. And what happens the first fucking week is that you have the entire Marlins organization test positive, and then it slews up this whole thing.
And they knew it, and they went out and played. Yeah,
they had 4 players test, and then they had more players test, and then they basically shut down 4 teams for an entire week. So then they say, oh, well, we didn't build any fucking precautions into this, except for, now we're going to have to play a ton of doubleheaders. Well, now we're going to play a ton of doubleheaders. We're only going to make them 7 innings instead. So it's just been.
I did not hear that part. Is that true?
They're only playing 7 innings.
Oh man, that means the starting pitchers could go the distance every time.
Yeah, it was actually yesterday the Braves had a rain out on Friday, so they had to play one yesterday against the Phillies, and it was actually kind of nice to watch a 7-inning game instead of 9 innings both ways, but. It's still like it's just one of those things where it's just like ridiculous. As they took so long and he delayed it so long, they could have played the 60 games in less time. Like there's a lot of teams right now, like the Braves are playing like 20 games in 20 nights.
Yeah,
and so you've also
baseball they're kind of used to doing that. Here's the thing though, like if they were staying in one spot, that'd be totally different. But they're actually traveling.
They're traveling,
so that's brutal.
Yeah, so now what you're doing is you're putting things at high risk, and you also see like the Cardinals players, who was the second string of players because they went out to a fucking casino, and they popped tested. So then you have more players that are getting,
that's like Lou Williams with his. I just want to go to the strip club to get chicken wings.
Yeah, no, Same scenario, but like these guys actually ended up getting tested positive for
So if there's no fans, why the hell wouldn't they just all hunker down in one city and play in one stadium,
I just don't think
or
that
or,
they.
or a couple or a complex or whatever?
I don't know. I don't think that they could have. They were able to pull it off logistically, but they had a long time to figure it out, and they what they did instead was to spend the majority of the time like working on labor issues instead of like safety issues.
Hmm,
So I mean, that's
yeah,
what the moral
bunch of
story is.
idiots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta wonder, like, just moving on to football, like, is football gonna happen? Because basically college football is going to shit right now. Like most of the big conferences, Big Ten, I think today announced that they're going to cancel the season. Other conferences are doing the same. I think SEC and Pac 12 as of today are still kind of waiting to see their options. But I even saw today, like Big Ten, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan was like, we've got really advanced I don't know if it's cleaning or protocol safety protocols in play. Like, it's all bullshit, right? It's all bullshit. But you got to say what you got to say to like have the like these schools are going to lose so much money, like so much money. And I know it's about safety, and I totally get that. Like we want to have people safe, but you're talking about people's livelihoods. Like these schools will collapse because football is a giant revenue generator, and you will have layoffs as a result of it. And so now you talk about mental health and physical health and all these other things. And I'm curious. I know you probably didn't think I was going to go in this direction, but football, is college football especially, I'm like very concerned about.
So one interesting thing that you bring up was the revenue part, and I think that a lot of the sentiments that I read today from a lot of the media people that I follow were saying that it's it's probably more that they're afraid of where this labor issue is going with the amateur athletes than they are necessarily about the health risks because like that was an impending thing and do you not dispute that because this has been a ticking time bomb the last year or so that we've been seeing and so
Oh yeah.
as far as the student athlete goes is like they don't have a whole lot that they have to gain to go out there and play right now because if you get sick you don't have insurance like you do you know
Well, I mean, these are kids and they're still on their parents' health plan.
not that kind of insurance, man. Though, like if somebody gets sick, something happens to them, and then they lose.
Mm,
They have they're going to be losing out on money. This isn't like an NFL player who gets sick. He's got
yeah,
state of the
totally.
art healthcare and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like a higher risk for those guys.
So what do you think? They sit out?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of players coming out and saying they want to. It's weird because you don't have
They want to?
player
I have
players don't have a
hard to,
union. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have a collective. You don't have a
but at
CBA.
that stage in the game, like these are kids basically. I mean, they're adults technically by age, but they are kids. I didn't become an adult until I was 30, I think. And it's even debatable now.
Yeah.
But I think like they love the game still. Yeah, they want to make money long term, but they're still amateurs at this point. They want to play. So why would they want to sit out? They age another year, people catch up to them skill wise. But I guess if everybody's in the same boat, maybe it's not that big of a deal.
I guess it kind of depends. Like, one of the players I saw was Trevor Lawrence, and then, like that dude doesn't really have anything to prove. Like, he's already probably going to be a number one draft pick, anyways. But there are a lot of players, but well, with the uncertainty of how football is going to work, anyways, like we don't even know how the fucking NFL, NBA draft is going to work. Like at this point, like you just don't know. Like there's so many question marks. Is like,
That's right. We haven't had the NBA draft, have we?
no. So,
Well, it's like you haven't even seen them play, really.
yeah, it's a
I mean,
lot of uncertainty.
part of the season, no March Madness. Like, how do you make a decision on that could collapse your organization? You're better off almost just pushing pause, let everybody get their eligibility back for a year,
Well, yeah,
do it all over again.
they're not going to have any combines or anything either.
crazy. It's weird times, man.
Mhm.
We've been watching the Blazers recently, and it's just like weird to see. I mean, this is a league that did it right. I mean, I was skeptical. Honestly, Dan, I was skeptical at first. I'm like, how are they going to do this? Somebody's going to go get chicken wings at a strip club and bring it back, and everybody's going to get COVID, and all of a sudden, like the whole bubble implodes. But they've actually done a good job, or they've kept it quiet about people getting sick. So the bubble is intact. The competitive play that we've seen in the NBA is incredible. I don't know what you feel about it, but I feel like the basketball is at a super high level, and like the Blazers especially. My God, like I feel like the spotlight is on them right now, completely.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think, well, obviously, like right now, anything would have been better than not. But
Yeah.
that I haven't watched a lot of the games outside of the few Blazer games, and it's been kind of shitty because a lot of the games have been super early on days that I worked. So, like, luckily for one of them was Saturday's game, so I didn't watch that, but just so I didn't have to watch that meltdown. Um, it's enjoyable, and like I think the best part, like for me, like in general, is like getting to see like how good Yusuf Nurkic is, and like how we were so close to seeing him come back, and like really how undervalued as a player he really is. And I think a lot of people, like especially nation or nationally, and definitely locally, a lot of players like could see the difference. Simon Whiteside did all right. He's here or there, but as a decent fill in, but the things that Nurk has done, especially overcoming this injury and like getting him to see how fucking great this guy
It's crazy.
is huge. Like I
He
was so
snapped his
excited.
fucking leg in half.
Yeah, and I think that's been like my favorite thing to watch so far is just
Yeah,
getting to
for
see
sure.
that. Um,
I mean, he's an incredible player. The way he moves. I mean, I feel like he's lighter on his feet. He's just an incredible player. I mean, he really makes his team different. And it's funny seeing Whiteside on the bench and not getting a lot of minutes because Nurkic is back and playing at just a high level.
so I saw this kind of earlier today. I'm not sure. It's kind of like more of a conspiracy theory than anything, but uh, it's interesting that Whiteside got yanked at the end of that Houston game when he was not playing very well. The guy was fucking awful, and then he magically has this hip injury the next two games.
Yep.
You think it was a 2 game suspension?
Oh,
I don't think
did
we'll ever find out either
did he
way, but
did he pout?
oh, I'm sure he was. He's like he would. That's why I guarantee you, like Terry pulled him.
That's fascinating. Did you see that on the Twitters?
Um, I didn't see that per se, but I did see that they had mentioned that it was weird that they didn't give any time frame on it. I know that they said today that he's upgraded probable, but
And like nobody's talked about it either. So like I gotta wonder. Like it makes sense. I kind of brushed it off because I'm like, whatever. Like Nurkic and Collins are playing. Well, Collins is not playing that great, but
no.
we've
Can I
got
tell
enough
you?
bigs.
Can I tell you that I think the most frustrating thing that I watch is CJ McCollum on a night and night basis. Like, so CJ is a great player if he's
He's a
given.
great play. He's a fantastic player.
So he's not a great player. He's a good player. Okay, he's probably super overpaid. But when on a night like
Maybe
last night, when he's getting fucking torched by Josh Richardson, I mean torched, like fucking
you're talking about his
torched.
defense.
Yes. And when he's not giving you anything offensively, same thing goes for Melo. Like Melo's great when he's scoring, but if he's not, then they're fucking they're awful. Like it is so
Yep.
fucking frustrating, and you wonder why these games are so fucking close, and they shouldn't be. Like why the Blazers are shitting the bed when you
Yeah,
don't
the
have.
perimeter defense is awful.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking
and
awful.
when Damian Lillard is your best perimeter defender right now, that's saying a lot. Like
That's pretty wild. Like he's come a long way on
yeah,
defense,
but he's still
but
not
he's
great.
got to get so fucking tired.
Yeah. It's just like right now, like every time I watch CJ McCollum, it's like a fucking like an escort to the rim. It's fucking frustrating. It's like I cannot stand it. And like it's great if CJ is giving you something on the other end, but half the time it's dribble, 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 dribble,
Oh, totally,
dribble,
totally.
dribble, and right into the fucking like five people, and then
Yep.
mid-range shot that he misses.
Well,
Or
like
he hates shooting wide open threes because he fucking bricks them all the time.
he likes them when he's a step back or fade away or some shit, and he makes them every time. It seems
You know
like.
who else does is Mario Hezonja. Loves step back threes.
Okay, can I just say how much I hate Mario Hezonja? I'm sure he's a very lovely person,
Oh, I'm sure they all are. I have nothing
but he is a terrible NBA player. And I guess lucky for us, he did get it on kind of a little weird hot streak in I think the second quarter of yesterday's game, Sunday, against the 76ers.
Mhm.
Yeah, but my God, it all went down from hell from there. Guy's awful.
Yep.
He will chuck him up,
Yep. The minute
miss
he
almost every
makes a
time.
couple, yep, it was bad. It was bad.
Can we talk about somebody who's been really good?
I'd love to.
Gary Trent Jr.
Fantastic.
Well, and Damian Lillard's obviously been very good, so we can put him aside. Gary Trent Jr. Holy shit!
Love it. Love it.
Where did he come? Like, how did he? I feel like he went to a whole different level. Like, what happened?
I think that he always had that pedigree. Like I remember when he was getting drafted, is that they always said that
They're
he
like,
had an
he's
NBA
NBA
body.
ready.
Like the defense, I think, is what he's like shown out the most on because he always had that shooter stroke, man. Like they always said that, and the defense has come and like he's like I think the biggest thing is like he's not like any Tony Allen defender, but he's 100 times better than anything they got right
He
now.
works hard.
Yeah, the problem is like he's guarding people that are a lot bigger.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
He's pretty small. He's like what, six
he's six
three
five,
maybe?
so he's bigger than both
He's
the
six
other two.
five.
Yeah, he's
Why
bigger
does
than
he
the other
look
two.
so small? Maybe if you put on a little beef.
Well, it's because he's playing out of position half the time. Half the time he's guarding guys that
Holy
are
shit! Is he really 6'5"?
Mhm.
Huh.
So
Son of a bitch.
yeah, I mean the guy's playing out of position, so he's trying to guard people that are bigger than him just because they can't fucking take CJ out for some apparent reason.
So, do you think Gary Trent Jr. in his like right position, he'd be a shooting guard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, natural too.
But what is he playing? Like a, uh, uh
They're using him
that's right, because
mostly.
he plays when Melo goes out.
Yeah,
That's why they're plugging in like Mario Hazonia in there somewhere, and they're kind of mix matching them or whatever.
yeah.
Interesting.
He's been legit, man. Like it's a pleasant surprise, you know. Uh, definitely got. I think a lot of people thought that, yeah, the ceiling was, as high as it was all season, and that like eventually Anthony was going to be better.
But
Still
he's
might
so
be,
young.
but
Yeah.
Gary, I think, has shocked a lot of people and surprised a lot of people. Like,
Well, he's seasoned. He's like, he's a Duke player, right? And he played. Did he play all 4 years?
uh,
Couple years.
I feel like he might have. I don't know. I do
So
think he.
but he's seasoned,
No,
and
he's
then
not.
you
He's
have
pretty young. He's pretty young.
Anthony Simons is still so young. So it's like at this point, who knows what's going to happen? Anthony Simons will probably be the better player long term, but Gary Trent Jr. is going to be a really nice NBA player long term.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they can do enough to keep him long term. Like ideally, man. Like if depending on how things go, like I think they got to start looking at options. Like
CJ's gone.
I don't think they're ever going to trade him, but I
You
think
don't think so? Like, well, maybe it's an untradeable contract, but I gotta wonder. Gary Trent Jr. coming on to himself, like at this point, why would you keep CJ around? Like, if you can get a 3 in return, like a decent 3,
well to answer your question is because they have him under contract for long term, and so they don't have to. But I
but
think
that's appeal. It's got to be appealing to some teams that are like, oh, we want to lock in somebody for 3, 4 years or whatever.
at some point, like long term, like I think that. maybe if it's not Gary Trent, but the idea of Gary Trent Jr. I think that you always said, like I've always said, is like you can replace what CJ gives you most nights with like a somebody that can score 20 points and somebody that's better defensively. If you can get because ideally the way that this breakdown should work is should be Dame and then Nurk are your two pillars and then everything around. Like CJ is your third option. I think because of what CJ gives you,
Yeah.
same thing Dame does. Like don't get me wrong, CJ can get hot, but I think that you've seen like he just ain't there every day. And like
Yeah.
when you lose it, especially because defensively, man, the guy is a fucking he's fucking just nothing, man. You get nothing from him, and then except for a flagrant foul every now and again. I thought last night's flagrant foul was a little tic tac, but
Yeah.
it's, it's
Whatever.
it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I'll be curious to see where it all goes because I'm like I could also argue myself in the direction of like Gary Trent Jr.'s at an all time high. Let's trade his ass, get a some value in return picks or a good three. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, dude's about to be a free agent because he was, I think, a second round pick, and so
No, he's a first round.
I
Oh
think a second
shit,
round
you're
pick.
right. He's a second round. Anthony
So
was a first round.
So like somebody might pay him a ton of Allen Crabbe money, and the Blazers aren't going to be able to match it. Like, they will, but
So the problem is he's not going to be a restricted
he
free
will
agent,
be.
will he?
He
Oh, he
will
will
be.
be. Okay.
But
Fuck.
somebody's going to probably pay him a ton of money, and they're
That's what. That's the Wesley Matthews special right there.
yep,
And
hundred
then
percent.
Blazers. Yeah, Blazers scooped up. Utah didn't want to match it.
Yep.
Yikes. We probably don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but Damian Lillard, a whole different level.
Okay. That's good, man.
Unbelievable. Although I'll say, like, missing those two free throws against the who the hell was it against? Nuggets?
Clippers. He also did it. He also missed them against.
Clippers.
He also did it. He also missed them against the
Nuggets.
Nuggets too.
Luckily we won that, but the Clippers, my God, that was brutal. Brutal.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. I think the guy is just. I think the guy was just gas, man. Like that. Like what they
Totally.
say. Guy was doing a lot, and it's funny because I told you after the whole Twitter beef thing, it's funny that two guys that have never won anything are acting like they're Steph Curry out there and like saying that they fucking won way more than anybody else. Well,
Right?
if you're going by that, you guys are chumps, just the same. So fuck them. I'm right with
That
them the
Twitter
rest of the
beef
way.
was probably the best part of it. Like, just Dame always holds his own. I actually just appreciate how candid he can be. And maybe he also realizes, like, hey, the beef thing, like being real and authentic, like that's gonna give you probably more fans. I think people appreciate that versus just somebody who's like completely guarded all the time. Like Westbrook is that way. Like social media doesn't really speak his mind. He's not really on there a whole lot. It seems like. But Dame, like he goes after fans. He goes after NBA players. He'll just speak his mind, like whatever. I think people appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you've also got the whole sentiment of people that just have no idea and they'll always say the same stupid shit. But like it is what it is. Like Paul George is an idiot. I've never liked Patrick Beverly. The guy's an idiot too. Like they're fucking morons. They try. This is what they try to do, and like especially Paul George. Like that guy's your epitome of like the kid that got everything he wanted. Is like the cool kid. He's just fucking living in the past. So fuck that
Yeah.
guy, punk.
Okay, moving on.
Still,
Disney Plus. Let's talk about movies, TV show. Let's talk about Disney Plus though. So there's actually I was shocked by it, but I think it's the times where your business models as a company, especially a digital streaming company, they're sort of flipped upside down. You don't have the theater to rely on, and you're producing all this content, and there's no end in sight. So you basically as a movie company, you're like, I don't want to put out a brand new movie into the theater where nobody can go to because that you basically rely on all of that for your revenue. So what Disney did, they decided, hey, we're going to put Mulan, which is highly touted. It's an old school movie. It's going to be a live action now. They're going to do it $30 on Disney Plus in lieu of the subscription. So people would pay the subscription plus they'll pay $30, right?
Hmm.
So it's like the movie, the theater on demand or whatever. So the question is, are people going to do it? And are they going to recoup, or are they going to make the level of money they thought they would make in the theater?
It's gonna. I think that the reason they're doing this with Mulan is because they want to see how much they can do. Because
How
this
much
was like
money
a,
they what's the budget they put into this movie?
I'm sure it had a bid.
200 million, like water
Uh,
world money?
well, every movie's like Waterworld money these days.
That's
Like
true. That was like 30 years ago.
like but this was supposed to be like their first big thing, like the first big Disney movie that was going to come out, and so like I think this is a test to see how people take it. Like at first, like before, because I didn't when they first dropped this information, it was $30. But then they came out later and said, "Well, you pay the $30 and you actually get to keep it. It's not like a $30 rental. So like you're
Well,
paying
it's on
$30."
Disney Plus anyways at that point. Like it'd be on your subscription. Or are
But
they
you're
creating also a
so yes,
movie street, like a buying, like almost like Voodoo?
so you are correct. Is that you will own that movie on your Disney Plus account as long as you own Disney Plus.
Weird.
So like if you stop your subscription for Disney Plus, you're not going to have access to that movie. It's from my
Well, then it's
understanding.
not, you don't own it then. That's bullshit. It's like,
So it's
I
like
mean,
basically like a $30 rent forever. You have that subscription, I guess. Which,
that doesn't make any sense.
hey man, and nothing these days makes any sense. So
We're gonna get to a point where nobody owns anything. We're gonna have Ubers driving us around. Nobody's gonna have a house. They're gonna be doing Airbnb nonstop. They're gonna have Disney Plus and Netflix and shit. And like nobody's gonna own any assets whatsoever.
it's
It's
possible.
crazy. It's
I don't know.
crazy.
I don't know. Like I don't know that. Like I guess I'll have to be pretty desperate because I don't even have Disney Plus right now. Anyways, like I've been
Oh, you
waiting for
don't?
stuff. I've been waiting for stuff to start coming out again to make it like a
Like what? Like what's gonna come out that you're so excited about?
well, like all the Marvel shows were supposed to start coming out in August,
Oh,
and
I want
then
Mandalorian season 2.
Mandalorian was supposed to start coming out. So we're supposed to start having a lot of like content, but none of that stuff has been coming out. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I would pay $30 for Mulan like to watch. Like
I've never even seen the cartoon version of it.
I have, and it's good. Like
Did you like it?
yeah, and this movie looked enjoyable too. Like we were definitely probably gonna go see it in theater. But like normally when you go see the matinee, it's like it's probably about uh, I don't know, at least $8 cheaper,
So
assuming I buy popcorn and
I
stuff.
would probably pay that much money if it was like, and this is really sad, you're gonna judge me. Listeners will judge me as well. If it was the Little Mermaid, I'd probably pay the $30 because my daughter loves Little Mermaid, loves the mermaids. I would pay that.
For a live action Little Mermaid.
Fuck yeah, I would. But not Mulan. I've never seen it. I'm not
So
gonna spend that much money.
here's the next question: Is would you pay $30 for say Black Widow, which was their next big movie coming out?
Oh. Versus going to the theater, which I'd spend $20 on IMAX anyways, plus beers. Fuck yeah, yeah, $30.
So
I'm
saying like
in.
yeah, so saying that the movie's not coming out in theater anytime soon, like you got to wait a whole another 6 months, or you
Yep,
can rent it for $30.
I'm in. I'm in. Actually think by law, I think they changed the number of days it takes from theater to streaming now.
I don't think they changed it by law, but
You
I
should,
think that companies like Universal, who are going mostly to probably on demand anyways with a lot of their movies, changed it from to 17 days instead. I think the law is like well, I don't think that there's a law, but I think that there was a thing where they had to wait 90 days. I think
yeah,
Universal.
Well,
I think Universal is
yeah, I think you're right. I think it's more like a 90 to 100 days or whatever, and then most of them are moving to like 45 days or less or something like that.
Universal doing like 17 days, like 2 weeks.
So why would you ever go to the theater by times are changing, man. Everybody's like wanting things right away, instant gratification. We are creating monsters.
Yeah, I think. Well, I also I don't know that anybody knows when like it's going to make sense to put out movies in theaters again too, because like to your point, if movies start opening and you're still going to be social distancing, you're still not filling up those theaters, you know. So at some point you might be losing that box office
Jesus.
anyways. So it'll be interesting to
Yikes.
see. Like I think Mulan's going to really be like the big determining factor for a lot of these big movies too. Like to your point, like would I probably pay $30 for Black Widow? Yeah, don't. My wife probably wouldn't be
Probably
okay
would.
with that, but she would watch it anyways and just throw a fit. But you know what? It's my thirty
She's
dollars.
isn't Scar Joe, she's given up the reins after this, right?
Well, fucking spoiler alert! She died in the last movie,
Well, yeah.
so
But
kind of by
so is
natural.
this but I didn't know where this was.
This takes place before that movie, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
It takes
Got it.
before that.
No, but she's no. I heard like any other spin-offs or whatever would not include her. It'd be somebody else. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like after she died in Avengers Endgame. It was that she's just done playing it and thinks somebody else should do it. Did you not see the same news that I saw?
She's pumping up Florence, whatever her butt, plays her sister in the movie, to take on the mantle of Black Widow. So,
Got it. Yeah.
if we ever get the option to pay $30 to go see it, we'll probably fucking figure it out.
Fucking watch
We'll probably fucking figure it out. I don't know.
it.
It's kind of shitty because like fuck, man, like all these movies supposed to be coming out, and like like luckily we've had some stuff that was already pre coming out,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but it's just depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's do a quick catch up before we end. Movies and TV. What are we watching? I've been basically watching the same shit, and I could probably run through my stuff because I've been trying to like just work through seasons of stuff. So, um, how about I go through mine and then I'll let you talk about what you've been watching. So I finished Power, not finished, but I got to wherever it's at now. So basically whatever's on Hulu. Incredible show, man. Like just exhilarating, good characters. It's a life I certainly wouldn't want to live.
So does Hulu doesn't have like the last season on there?
No, I think because it's on Stars.
Hmm.
Um, I have Hulu, but I'm able to access Stars through Hulu. Apparently, I don't know why, but it doesn't have the final season on there or whatever is out there right now. So,
Well, look, that's the final season. It's done. It's been done with. They're about to start the spinoff shows.
oh, oh, really?
Hmm.
Okay. It definitely did not conclude. So it's yeah, I didn't watch it all the way through. It's so good though. I think it's incredible. Can I ask you a question though? Like you've watched it a lot. Um so the 50 Cent jacking off was kind of it caught me off guard a little bit.
I don't
When
remember.
oh, it's like season 2 or 3 or something like that where he got burned and he was like basically trying to recover and he's in that police officer's house
Hmm.
and he was like trying to get his mojo back or something.
Yeah, I think I remember. Kind of remember.
But I'm like, it caught me really off guard. I'm like, what's happening here? He's got his wiener out and awkward. Anyway, so I've been watching that, and
That's the
then
takeaway from the show.
well, no, the takeaway from that show is that it's a life that I wouldn't want to live, but it's incredibly interesting with the dynamics between business the legal side and the drug side, and just how it all interplays. Don't live in that world, so I don't know what's true, what's fabricated, what's, whatever. But very fascinating. Wouldn't want any part of that.
True, true, very true.
Yeah. I've been watching Shameless as well. So like a new season came out, and their main lead actress decided to just be done with the show. I think it's been going for like 8 or 9 years or something like that. So she bailed, and I was like, is this show gonna hold up to its standards? And it's actually pretty damn good still. Think it. I don't know if it's the last season overall. The series see like the last season or whatever, but we like it. Angela and I have been watching it, and it's pretty damn good. And then we've tried a couple other shows too, but she tends to fall asleep, so that's about it. I did watch all of Dark too. I guess that's the other thing we haven't really talked about.
Yeah, we never got back into watching it. Like I was still like thinking the second season.
So here's the thing,
I
Dan.
don't think we finished the first season actually.
So here's the thing. Once you get to the first season, you're like, what in the fuck is going on? Then you watch the second season. The last few episodes are worth the whole thing.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
like a. Well, I don't think it was like we want to or not want to. It's we don't have a ton of time because I gotta go to bed early the most days I work. So
whatever.
uh
I will tell you that the last episode and just the tie-in of the whole storyline of like why everything happened is just so worth it. It's kind of like the movie Contact. Like that movie for me, just the ending of it, like it always sticks out in my mind about like, oh wow, okay. There's not a lot of answers, but at the same time, there's still like it gets your mind going.
it is funny because you picked Contact, which is an old as fuck movie.
I love that movie. I if they could reboot that movie with better actors, I'm in. I'm in.
Hmm,
Better special effects too.
oh my goodness,
Gary Busey was in that.
wasn't Jodie Foster also?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Gary Busey blew himself up in a some sort of
But
time machine or whatever the hell it was.
well, it's probably because so much cocaine he was doing. They had to write him off. Like, where your character's supposed to survive to then, but you were high as a motherfucker, Gary. We're gonna
we're
kill
just
you.
gonna we're gonna actually kill you off earlier because we don't want you on set anymore.
Yeah,
So awesome.
we're gonna kill you off.
So, actually, one other thing that I did not put on my list that I want to just talk about real quick. So, I started watching The Watchmen on HBO.
Mm.
So good, but I got to tell you, Dan, I'm so confused as to what's happening in that
Yeah,
show. Like, is it different
it's accurate.
timelines? Is it um what's I'm only halfway through, so I don't want you to spoil it, but I'm like, what as a newer watcher, like, what should I know about this show?
Wait for Jodie Foster to get to the end, and it will make a little bit more sense.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, you got to keep going down the rabbit hole.
Okay, I started watching it. I'm like, this show is really cool. It's different. It's good acting, good special effects, but I have no idea what the fuck's going
No, yeah, it's good. It's good.
on.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta go all the way to the
I'm
end
like,
to get it.
police captains hanging from a tree. Don't know why. Don't know why.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta keep going.
And why is one of the police officers like so good at kicking ass? The the black woman. Like what's her real name?
Regina King.
Gina King. Regina King. Like why is she so like what's her story? I don't know.
Just keep watching, man.
Okay. All right.
Just keep
I'm
watching.
impatient. I'll keep watching though.
Just keep
Maybe,
watching.
maybe tonight.
See, it's that instant gratification you're talking about.
Okay, you tell me what you're watching.
So we just finished watching the second season of Umbrella Academy today, actually. Fucking so good.
So did you love the first season?
Yeah, we really liked it.
I watched like one or two episodes, and I'm like, I don't know if I should keep watching. So I did.
Nah, the second season is a lot better than the first one. The first one was pretty decent. We liked it, but the second season was way better.
Can I ask you a question? So if I were to watch Altered Carbon or Umbrella Academy, which should I choose?
Altered Carbon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, even if you just watch the first season of Altered Carbon is so good. It's super good.
Okay.
Second season wasn't good, but what you should do is watch the first season of Altered Carbon and the second season of Umbrella Academy.
Does it work out that way? Like, I don't know if
You
the
never know. Just pretend it's all Black Mirror and you're good.
I love Black Mirror. It's so good.
Um, besides that, to continuing our string of rewatches, making Nancy watch a bunch of movies that she never watched. Finally watched Heat last night.
The
It's been on my
Heat,
list
like,
for a
is in
while.
the one from the 90s?
Yes, as in not the one with Melissa McCarthy, as in the one with Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro
Shit.
and Al Pacino. The
I've never
basically
seen it.
basically the movie that spurned off tons and tons of other
Yeah, yeah.
movies, inspired thousands of movies.
Does it hold up to its reputation?
Fuck yeah,
Oh,
damn! I think
fuck.
it's one of the few movies that is fucking perfect.
Okay. So, should I watch it tonight and stay up really late?
If you got 2 hours and 50 minutes of your time, yeah, because it's a long movie, but it's fucking good, man.
What did you, watch it on?
It's on my Voodoo account.
Did you buy it?
Yes, sir. It's on
Get
sale.
the fuck out of here. I'm gonna log into your Voodoo account. I'm watching this shit tonight.
Yeah, it
It's
was
gonna
on sale.
happen. It's going down.
It was
It's
on
going
sale.
down.
It was on sale. So that we also watched The Quick and the Dead, which I hadn't watched in a long time, but wanted to watch that. That
What
was
that is.
good. It was a Sam Raimi directed Western movie with Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman in it. It had a young Leo in it. It had
Oh,
also Russell Crowe. Super good movie. Very underappreciated Western movie, but it's dope as fuck.
nice.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Enjoyable to watch. But
Can
like,
I
man,
can I tell
He was good.
can I tell you that there's another movie I know both of us have watched, The Old Guard,
Yes.
and it was super entertaining, but I fell asleep and I did not go back and watch the end of it. So you got to tell me what. I guess we could do a spoiler alert here. What happens at the end? Because I'm not going to go back and watch it.
What happens at the end is she ends up starting to figure out that she's dying, and then the
She's
girl
dying.
that starts to be able. She's dying, and she can't come back. Kind of like the movie Logan, and then so they realize that
Oh,
the girl that they find is kind of taking over her spot,
huh.
and then they end up killing the doctor guy, and that basically sets up a sequel. So that's it.
So maybe I should go back and watch it because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that, but that's pretty much it in the Cliff Note version.
I mean, you said it compares to Logan, so
Well, I said that the premise of her like starting to figure out that she's not going to be able to regenerate like the movie Logan, nothing fucking tops Logan, man. That's fucking.
so give me a quick update on video games. This should be a huge season for video games because the new platforms are coming out, but I'm curious if there's anything new. There's been a lot of buzz around some new ones, and I know you're going to talk about them, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about like two of the biggest games that came out in this generation. Like, there's been a lot of really good games that have come out, but
Yeah.
like two of the highly touted games that came out were PlayStation exclusives this year. They got delayed fucking thousands of times. The first one was The Last of Us Part Two,
I've
which
been seeing screenshots of that for years.
so like after I finished playing this game, like it took me a little bit to get into it, but once I started playing it and I getting through it, like once I couldn't put it down, and like a super well driven story game, like a like when you finish watching a TV series after a while, and like you're super into it, like kind of like after Lost, like you're like Well, shit.
Oh
Now that you got
yeah.
to the end of it, you're like, you got that giant hole in it. That's
Now
kind
you
of
would
how I
like want to
was.
read everything in the forums about it.
Yeah, like never in my life have I gone on to like a spoiler cast about the story of a fucking video game, but I did for this one because it was so well done, dude. Like
Really?
obviously, like anytime you have a game, like like a lot of things go into it, like but like the how well crafted the story was, like really made it for me, and I really enjoyed it. And so like there was a lot of people that were kind of on the fence, off the fence about it, kind of like the Last Jedi. But I think a lot of people were just kind of fucking, as they are about everything nowadays, is that they're super opinionated about shit that they don't like, and a lot of times they don't even give it a try.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell you, if you guys have a chance, go play The Last of Us Part Two. It's fucking
The
amazing.
visuals look crazy. And
Yeah.
if the
Mhm.
storyline's anything like the visuals, then I'm in. But you
Yeah.
said it's only on PlayStation?
Hmm.
I don't have that.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, too. And like that's the best part about these games, like coming out now, is like they're like the very tip top of like spectrum. Like the system's been out long enough, like they're pushing this stuff to the limit. And so like the next game that I played after that, so it's called Ghost of Tushima. I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Another PlayStation exclusive. It's like a game where you're this samurai, and there's nothing.
Ooh,
They
shit.
don't make fucking games like this, and like it's amazing preference. It takes place like in feudal Japan, where you're basically
Like
fighting off
Tom Cruise in The
Mongols.
Last Samurai,
Fuck
just
yeah,
like
dude, hundred
slicing up
percent.
fuckers.
But this game is so beautiful. It has so many amazing colors that pop in like the scenery and like ancient Japan, and like
Damn.
never have I felt like a samurai more in my life than that. And like, it was another really well crafted story.
You
Like,
went out and bought your samurai sword the other day. You
fuck,
got it up
man, I
on your
want to.
mantle.
I fucking want to. Goddamn.
So
But
cool.
like, and it's really great because it's the same type of thing. Like, I jumped out of The Last of Us and I didn't have anything to play, and then this game came out a couple weeks later. Like, luckily, and then I jumped in. I couldn't put it down, and then I fucking beat it. And then I looked at Nancy and I go,
I
"What the
want
fuck
more.
now? I'm fucking depressed again."
Oh shit.
So it's left
Do
empty.
you
But
have
that just shows how remarkable these games have been. And like
crazy?
screaming from
Do
the
you have
mountaintop.
both the PlayStation and the Xbox?
I do.
Are you gonna buy NBA 2K 21 with
I am
Dame
not.
on the cover?
I will not unless it goes super cheap. I don't play the
You don't
last
play sports.
no, the last one I did. The last one I got was MLB The Show when I was in quarantine in
Yeah.
March. It's because I didn't have anything to play.
I
Like I
can't
got
remember the last time I bought a game.
yeah, I buy 'em. I like the one in addition
At
to
like
buying fucking shit.
$60 a game. It's crazy, dude.
No, that's why I trade stuff in. But
Okay.
uh,
What,
the
for
other
like
the other
10
thing that's
ten
crazy
bucks?
too, yeah, yeah. The other thing that's crazy right now too is like the how many fucking like digital like on demand game deals are running. I bought way more shit for cheap on
Really?
demand
Like
fucking video
what's
game wise than I ever did.
so I have Xbox. What's one of your favorite Xbox on demand ones? Because you gave me a really good one with the baseball one. I couldn't get enough of that game. So fun.
The last one I got was a few months ago. They had like the two Assassin's Creed games for like $25, and those are
Mm.
amazing games. But I haven't really seen anything. Like Battletoads is supposed to be finally coming out here. I think
Oh,
like
nice.
soon, so that might be the one for you.
Sweet.
Battletoads is
I
the one.
bought I bought the old NBA Jam game from 2008, I think, on Xbox,
Mhm.
and my kid and I loved to play that game.
Oh, yeah.
So
Actually, you know
fun.
what? There's a fucking PGA Tour game that's coming out uh, that looks like a lot like the Tiger Wood one we used to play.
Really?
Yeah, it looks really good. You should check that out.
Okay. I don't have Xbox Live Gold right now, but if there's enough games, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, and like you don't play enough to say, but they have some like they have their Game Pass that gives you access to a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I see.
That's
Is it
like
worth it? Like, what's the price of that?
I don't know. because I don't use it either. I think that they have
Okay,
like
so
a
you don't have the subscription?
no, no,
Hmm.
no. I think it's usually pretty cheap. I think like total it's under $20 for that. I think
Oh,
like monthly, but I think it's pretty premium if you do it. But you get access to like obviously Xbox Live Gold, and you get
yep.
like Gears of War 5 is on there, and
Get out of here.
they have that at launch, and it's part of the package, and you get to play it as long as you have the subscription. Like
Holy shit. Do you have to download everything or
I think so, yeah. You have to
oh
download it to
man.
your hard
That's
drive, but
the
you can always
one bummer about all these games is like they require a shit ton of download space, hard drive space, and just like all the updates are so obnoxious.
yeah, it
Like
kind of depends.
if they could just be like downloaded in the background, that'd be great. Like you just leave your Xbox on like once a week or some shit and it just keeps it updated.
That's one thing I like about the PlayStation is that you can leave it in basically like a standby or like a rest mode, and
Nice.
it downloads all the fucking updates and stuff already.
So I guess that's where like my memories of having the red ring of death back in the day prevents me from like leaving my Xbox on ever. Do you remember that shit back in the day?
Well,
I think I went through 3 or 4 Xboxes where they fucking just shut off on me
yeah,
because they overheated.
yeah, that's why I don't I'm not gonna buy anything at launch ever again. That's for sure.
Good call.
100%,
Love it.
100%.
Dan, so fun to talk to you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Good to catch up. Dan's at Dizzy Zebo on Twitter. I'm at Brandon Laws on Twitter. Connect with us, follow us, and we'll talk to you next time.